My seventh hot take is going to be Inter Miami.
Oh, okay,
I think
okay.
I do not. Based on their current preseason tour, they have been super underwhelming. I mean, I
Mm.
understand that Messi's been injured, uh, but like even still with Luis Suarez, Jordi Alba, and Sergio Busquets, I do think that you should be doing better than losing to a bunch of these teams. Like they lost to Vissel Kobe in Japan, and like not to take away from the Japanese league, but I feel as though that if you have Busquets, Alba, and Suarez, and even Messi played that game, if you have all four of them, that should be a win right
Kobe
there.
did just win the Japanese league. It is important to remember, but I do see what you're saying. I do get
Mm-hmm.
the point. But yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I think you're bang on about Miami. Like people are saying that they're gonna walk the league. I don't actually know if they're saying that. I think that's the expectation though when you're bringing those names in. But I think it's important to remember there's a lot of players that come from Europe, and the MLS is not easy. It happened with Gerrard. Like going from in a way day in England is very different to an away day in America. When these
Mm-hmm.
aging players come in, it's not always easy. I think Messi's getting on well. Busquets started off really well, and I mean he kind of started to decline towards last season. Suarez has been putting injections in his knee for the past 2 years, so I think it's good to have these big names come in to kind of attract players. But so I think in the long run, Miami are going to do well. I think they'll definitely win the MLS next five
Mm-hmm.
years. But this season, I think they brought in these faces so for the rest of their franchise history, they can be known as a team who had Messi, Suarez, Busquets, Alba on the same team at the same time. But I don't think that's going to work at short term. I think that's more of a long term investment. I think they kind of spent all their money on getting the kind of old Barca players in, and I think it's going to build their brand massively, and it's probably going to work off, and then they can build a well-balanced squad. But to me, it just kind of looks like a mix between like 40-year-old Spaniards and then kind of like 19-year-old Americans, and that just doesn't work in the MLS. So, yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I agree with you not really putting them high. I think you're bang on with that.
Few moments later.
Doing whatever. But fifth, it kind of taps into what we were just talking about. I would enter Miami for fifth. I know it kind of contradicts what I say, but I feel like I'm not going to say that obviously the club is put top four right now. But if you kind of look at the club's top four and look at the kind of bottom four, I think Miami is kind of the perfect middle spot in the sense that I could see them doing either way. I think they're kind of be the average of these two kind of blocks of teams. I think you kind of have like almost like a pretty strong tier list of quality in the Eastern Conference, and I think Miami on paper is probably slapping the middle, or on paper combined with the kind of football we can see them play. Because I think that's going to be another big component about kind of bringing in these new staff. Because seeing Messi's debut for Miami, it was really like they really hung him out to dry. He was the only person who, besides Busquets, obviously, who knew how to play football that was there. So I think that's going to be a big factor. But yeah, I'll just kind of. I think they should get a relatively comfortable playoff spot. I think that's the least we can expect. But the thing about
Mm-hmm.
Miami is they won the League's Cup with Messi alone, so I think if they get in the playoffs, like they have as good a shot at the title as anyone, just because of how we can see
Oh
him
yeah,
play
for
in a
sure.
knockout format and how we saw him play in the League's Cup.